right, if you guys have followed my content for even 5 seconds, you know I try to do my absolute best to take confusion and uncertainty out of the equation because I know that just stalls people. So we are going to do our absolute best to create a how-to video for you for using the pelvic wand at home. You just have to start, ladies. It is going to be a little awkward. It is going to be a little unfamiliar. I promise it gets easier. I promise you know your body better than you think you do. Just bear with me and we're going to walk you through it. All right, you guys, we're here to do our absolute best at showing you a how-to video. This is a pelvic floor. This is the deep layer 3 inside that sits underneath your glutes, supports your pelvic floor, all of those things. So this is the sacrum and back right here, down to the tailbone. This right here is my pubic bone right in front. So you can imagine if you recline on a bed supported by pillows for your back, pillows for your legs, you're just gonna recline. So there's no vaginal canal on my little model here, so you're gonna have to use your imagination. But this whole end, you're gonna just gently slide into the vaginal canal. If you find any tender spots, lean into the wall just a bit. You're just gonna lean into it, hold there until it eases so that you can be more comfortable. Now as you enter layer 3, you're just gonna slide in. It's about the length to the curve for most people. So I'm gonna turn it this way so you can see a little better. Don't worry too much about all the muscles, but you have this series right here that go from the tailbone over to the sit bones. And so a lot of times tension's coming from there. So as this is entered and angled down, you can see that we would be just able to lightly press into those muscles. Slide in a tiny bit further, press into those muscles. Over towards 3 and 9 o'clock are the hip sockets. There's an amazing muscle called your obturator internus. When you slide in and go laterally towards that hip socket, it can be really amazing for opening up the hips. You'll feel it when you go to squat next. And so when this is inside, this piece is outside. And so that's why this S-curve design is nice, because you can just take the little handle, arc it up, and that's going to apply a little pressure inside. You feel into that, you sink into a tender spot, take some nice deep breaths. When you feel like that has eased, if you're not sure if it eased or if you accidentally let off your pressure, just lean in again. Check it again. If it's like, no, that really is less tender now, great. Move to a new spot, either back over to that hip socket, ease out a little bit, get to some of these other levator ani, pubococcygeus muscles. You can also be very gentle with yourself. You might want to pull it out and reinsert. But if you turn upwards, again, this is the pubic bone. The bladder sits right here, just above the pubic bone. And so you don't want to ever tilt up to 12 o'clock and press right on that bladder. But if you lean up, and now you're angling this outer handle downward. But if you lean up and press at what would be kind of more 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock, or 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 10 and 2, you can angle up on either side of the bladder and really ease some tension that might be contributing to leakage and incontinence. And so that can be great. So we avoid 6 o'clock where the rectal tissue would sit. We avoid 12 o'clock where the bladder is, but basically anything around this arc can be treated and lean into those tender spots like we talked about. Be gentle with yourself, take your time. 5 to 10 minutes to hit 3 or 4 spots is enough. You don't have to go for all of it in one fell swoop. But I just want to try to take a little of the mystery out of how angling and how that works to reach into the pelvic floor, give you a little bit of a visual. Of course, my little stickies don't stay. But again, this is the tailbone and sacrum in the back, pubic bone in the front. Lots and lots of muscles under there that could use some tender care. All right, you guys, so I know there's a lot, but I really just wanted to help give you a visual of what the inside of your pelvic floor really is like, that deeper layer of muscle, layer 3, and hopefully take a little of the mystery out of the use of the wand. If you're really nervous, you can absolutely start with the smaller wand. It's just that this smaller tip actually isn't as comfortable for easing into muscle tension. You'd be surprised, but this end is definitely a little bit more comfortable to just apply that broader angle, broader surface. Please reach out if you have any questions at all. We're definitely here to help and want to make this as easy as possible.